Did Jay-Z really steal Young Chris's style? Or is it all just part of the game? Today we've got a hot topic that's been buzzing for years. Did Jay-Z really steal his style from Young Chris? First off, we're going to take a trip down memory lane back to those Roc-A-Fella days. If you remember those times, you definitely remember Young Chris, a rapper with major skills who had everybody's attention. Some people out there think that Jay-Z got his style from Young Chris. Crazy, right? Jay-Z addressed the rumors head on while on The Breakfast Club. Jay basically said it's all nonsense. He made records before and after Chris, so the idea that he took his style is just weird to him. Jay been around for a minute, and he's always had his own unique style. But let's see what Young Chris has to say about all this. Young Chris spoke on this topic too. He doesn't deny this speculation, but adds an interesting twist. He mentions how they all were in the studio together, so they all were influenced by each other. According to Young Chris, everybody took something from everybody. Chris even said, "Steel sharpens steel, you know. It's a collective energy, not theft." But then Petey Crack, another state property member, took it a step further, saying that Jay-Z doesn't just steal songs, he steals swag, ideas, and concepts. Petey believes Jay-Z's transformation in his rhyme pattern is a clear indicator that he borrowed heavily from Young Chris. Petey's point is that the old Jay-Z never rapped the way he does now. Petey is basically saying to go listen to Young Chris and then go listen to Jay-Z, and you might start scratching your head. It's a compelling argument for sure, but it's important to remember that hip-hop is all about evolution and growth. Styles change, artists adapt, and sometimes that means picking up new influences. But does that mean that Jay-Z lacks originality? Young Chris himself doesn't seem too concerned about it. He calls Jay his man and notes that accusations of style stealing go both ways. People said Chris sounded like Jay-Z at times. It's a back and forth game. Now let's talk about what Just Blaze had to say about all this. Just Blaze, a former Roc-A-Fella producer, when asked about the claims, chose to stay neutral. He said, "That's old family business." According to Just Blaze, everybody feeds off everybody. It's all about making great music together, and pointing fingers is pointless. Just Blaze emphasized that Roc-A-Fella's success came from a synergy where everybody contributed to each other's sound. So rather than focusing on who took what, Blaze believes in celebrating the collective success they had. But hold up, Dame Dash, the co-founder of Roc-A-Fella Records, yeah, he has something to say about this too. Dame accused Jay-Z of having a pattern of robbing other artists' records. According to Dame Dash, Jay-Z would jump on a record after it got hot and make it his own song. He said examples like Ja Rule's "Can I Get a" and Emilio Sparks' part in "I Just Wanna Love You, Give It To Me." Dame calls it extortion, saying that Jay-Z's method of claiming records as his own after featuring on them was unfair to the original artist. Now that's a heavy accusation coming from someone who was once Jay-Z's business partner. Now Young Guru, Jay-Z's longtime engineer, wasn't having any of that. He called cap on Dame's narrative, clarifying that "I Just Wanna Love You" was made from scratch with Pharrell. He also addressed the Ja Rule situation, stating that Irv Gotti wanted Jay-Z to feature on "Can I Get a" and insisted on keeping Ja Rule in the mix. In my opinion, Guru's defense is solid, providing a behind-the-scenes look at how these collaborations actually came about. So where does that leave us? We've got multiple perspectives to look at. Jay-Z denying the claims, Young Chris acknowledging the influence but downplaying any theft, Petey Crack accusing Jay-Z of swag jacking, Just Blaze calling for unity, and Dame Dash accusing Jay-Z of extortion. Now that's a lot to think about, and the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Let's shift gears for a moment though and talk about how this controversy impacts hip-hop in general. Plagiarism and swagger jacking are some serious allegations in the music world. They challenge an artist's authenticity and credibility. For fans, this kind of drama can change how we perceive our favorite artists and their music. It's clear that Jay-Z has had a major impact on the industry. His influence is undeniable, but so is the influence of those around him. Artists grow and evolve, often drawing inspiration from their peers. In hip-hop, all these different styles is part of what makes the genre so dynamic and exciting. However, when it comes to Jay-Z and Young Chris, the debate continues. Jay-Z's legacy is firmly established, but the whispers of swagger jacking add a complex layer to his narrative. It's a reminder that in hip-hop and in all music in general, the lines between influence and imitation can sometimes blur. Now let's talk about the impact of this on the fans. Hip-hop fans are passionate, and these debates fuel our discussions and keep the culture alive. Whether you side with Jay-Z, Young Chris, or see both perspectives, it's clear that these conversations are vital. They push artists to be better and keep the community engaged. So what do y'all think? Did Jay-Z really borrow his style from Young Chris? Or is this just another case of hip-hop evolution? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Personally, with all due respect to Young Chris, I think he's a phenomenal artist. However, I don't think that Jay-Z borrowed from him. Jay-Z has been transparent about his artistic process and influences. He's credited numerous artists from Rakim to Big Daddy Kane as inspirations. This openness about his influences shows that Jay-Z isn't shy about giving credit where it's due. If he had borrowed heavily from Young Chris, he'd most likely acknowledge it. And let's not forget about the sheer volume of Jay-Z's work. He's released 13 solo albums, countless collaborations, and has a discography that showcases his ability to adapt and innovate. His style has evolved over the years, reflecting changes in the hip-hop landscape and his personal growth as an artist. This continuous evolution is a testament to his originality. The legends Young Guru and Just Blaze, who were closely involved in the Roc-A-Fella era, have emphasized that the success of the label was a team effort. They've pointed out that the synergy among artists contributed to their collective success, rather than any one artist stealing another artist's style. This environment was about pushing each other to be better, not about stealing. Young Chris himself hasn't even made a big deal out of these accusations. He acknowledged the influence, but hasn't accused Jay-Z of outright stealing his style. This lack of direct accusation from the supposed source of the style suggests that the claims might be overblown. Now, before we wrap up, let's not forget that despite these debates, both Jay-Z and Young Chris have contributed massively to the game. They've each left their mark, and that's something worth celebrating. Whether you're a fan of Jay-Z's polished style or Young Chris's raw energy, there's no denying their impact. Jay-Z has created a successful career for himself in music and business by studying those who came before him. Jay-Z not only studied their wins, but their losses as well. Click the video on the screen to hear who Jay-Z calls his favorite rappers. And make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified every time I post. Peace.